To Denae Live. Real talk for the real world.
As the holiday season approaches, look no further for custom jewelry and waist beads than Kimberly and Company. Featuring natural stones, crystals, unique and vintage beads, you're sure to find a gift even for the person who has everything. Purchase necklaces, bracelets, and waist beads individually or purchase a set for a better value. Direct and contactless delivery is available.
Stand by 5 seconds.
At Kimberly & Co. for more information or to make a purchase. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio to get a 15% discount or free shipping. Hey, it's your girl Lisa Denae, and you are tuned into Lisa Denae Live right here on Stunner Radio, brought to you by Vanguard Media. So we have two very special guests with us today. Dr. Clara Peters is here, and the Meka Diamond takeover continues with Meka Diamond. She's going to be with us most of the day, so get your little, glass of whatever and sit tight with us for a little while. We have a lot of ground to cover today. So I want to just say that early voting has ended. The election is only 3 days away. I hope and pray that all of you that have not voted would go out and vote. I didn't vote because I like to vote on election day. That's just my thing. But trust and believe I will be there on election day to cast my vote. Also, today is the last day of daylight savings time. So don't forget, well, most of the time our phones do it for us now. But, just be sure to be aware that we are changing our time and we are falling backwards on 2 a.m. tomorrow. Also, coronavirus numbers are going up. I don't know why people don't want to wear masks, because if we just do wear a mask, practice social distancing. Social media is always on the mind for some reason. Practice social distancing. We will get through this, but the numbers are rising. So I just want to remind everybody, please, ma'am, and please, sir, mask up. I just also want to say before we get into our interviews with our guests, we lost a great voice in the gospel world. Now, people who don't go to church or don't know gospel music, they are like, why people so broken up over Rance Allen? Because y'all don't need much nothing. Right. When you hear that, he finna bring it. He had a very unique voice, a very unique way of just bringing that sound out of his belly. Mm-hmm. So it's a great loss to us who love gospel music. And he was a preacher too. Yeah. But if you believe like we believe, we feel like he's in a better place. Mm-hmm. And it's always best to leave when you've done a good job, because you're only as good as the last thing you did. Yeah. So we haven't heard no scandals or nothing. And as far as we know, he's done a great job. So I still do want to, just mention that it is a great loss, and we are continuing to pray for his church family, his family, and all of those that love gospel music. So, like I mentioned, we have two very special women with us today, Dr. Clara Peters and Meka Diamond, and we are going to take a short break, but we'll be right back to get into those interviews.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Something happened here.
Oh, you want to talk?
Yeah. The commercial. Give me 1 second.
Well, we're not going to necessarily take a break. So, or we might.
Yeah, I paused it, but something happened here.
Oh, that's okay. I'll keep going.
Okay, hold on.
So, as you know, am I back?
Hold on. Let me clear that up. We'll come back after the break, and then I'm gonna play the commercial. But something happened here.
Okay.
I don't know why this didn't do what it was
Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
It happens.
Okay.
It happens, especially dealing with computers and files and all that jazz.
Okay, we'll come back after you said. I'll clean it up at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna play the commercial.
Are you tired of that?
We'll come back commercial. I'm gonna clean it up.
Okay.
I don't know why when I hit the play button.
Are you tired of bad hair days, dry, damaged hair, and lackluster curls? We know the struggle is real. Earth's Nectar Hair Care is here to bring life back to your hair and take you from struggle to shine. Offering organic, cruelty-free hair care options, we focus on giving you salon quality with multi-use products to save time, money, and shelf space. race. Visit our website today at www.earthsnectar.
Charisma.
Personality, charisma, and style. A true star ready to shine at your next event. Latriva Denae, radio personality and event host, will make your event the place to be and provide lasting memories for your audience. If you want to take your event to the next level, book Latriva Denae to be your host, MC, moderator, or red carpet interviewer and host. Contact her at Latriva Denae on Facebook and Instagram for booking information and pricing. And make sure to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
Back with our very special guest. And as you know, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So I am really honored to have Dr. Clara Peters in the building with us today because she does a lot of work for domestic violence awareness and prevention. And she is a survivor herself. So Dr. Peters, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me to come and share today. I really appreciate it.
No problem. So tell me a little bit about your experience with domestic violence and what led you to become an advocate.
My experience is I was married. My ex-husband, we was together for a little over 20 years. So almost 2 decades, I was abused from that relationship. Every abuse there is, I endured it with him. And because of that, that led me to become an advocate so that I can share with the women and let them know that they're not alone and that there are others that is out there been where they're at.
Right.
And there is life after abuse.
Yes.
There's life after whatever you've gone through. And so many people like myself did not have the people speaking out like I'm and many others are now. So when I went through it, I didn't see me.
Right.
So I wanted to be one of those that they saw, they see, and they can see that, okay, so she went through that. She went through all of it and she endured it and she came out an overcomer.
Yes.
I just didn't survive it, but I became an overcomer. So I just want them to see that there's faces out here that has gone through it and they live in life to the fullest now because they released themselves from that abuse. They released themselves from someone else's bondage.
Yes.
It wasn't mine, it was his.
Absolutely. That is a very good point that you make because I think that's what takes so long for some people to get out of these type of abusive relationships is because you internalize it and then you blame yourself and feel like it must be something that I did. It must be my fault. So I like what you said. It's his bondage, not mine.
Right.
So what do you think the key is to getting out of that type of bondage?
Well, it depends on the type of bondage it is and how that person is. Because, you know, if you often ask and you often hear people asking that question, why do you stay so long? Because you don't know the mindset of the abuser, the one that's doing the abuse. So it depends on what he has said and how you can manipulate between to try to get up out of that.
Yeah.
And with me, I didn't work because he didn't want me to work. So after about a decade, I finally was like, I got to get my way out of this house to work so that, because otherwise I would have to go back to Louisiana. I didn't want to go back to mom and dad. Didn't want to do that because to me that was going backwards. Yeah. And I'm like, if I'm gonna bring me and my children up out of this, I have to go to work. But I had to fight a lot of mornings to go to work. Yeah. Because he didn't want me to have that freedom. Right. Because you know, if I had friends and I had freedom, then that means they can be in my ear. Right. So he didn't want anyone in my ear. And
not to mention having your own money.
That he definitely didn't want.
Yes.
You know, but he had me on a timer. If I got off work at 5, I need to be home at 6. I'm like, I worked off of Allen Parkway and you expect me to be home by 6 and in Missouri City. Are you serious? Yeah. And I gotta stop to pick up, stop at the daycare to get my child. Yeah. You know? So you have to create a plan. And a strategic plan, not just a plan, but a strategic plan. Because if you don't, it's not gonna work. Right. And in doing that plan, you have to think of everything in detail. Even from, okay, just say if I wanted to leave and I wanted to leave right after work, make sure that you have what you need. And this is something that some women make a mistake in doing, and that is trying to pack up the whole house. Don't do that. Which I didn't do that, but I had him serve and he had to leave. But I know a lot of women make a mistake trying to pack up the whole house. That's where you're gonna lose your life. Right.
And it's serious. Yeah, nothing in that house is worth your life.
No. And it took me 3 years to finally get my divorce final. And my lawyer kept trying to go after and get me. I told her, I said, I only want one thing. And she said, what? I said, peace. I said, I told you that in the beginning. I don't care about anything else. So when it was getting close to the 3-year mark, because if your divorce not final within 3 years, you got to start all over, more money and all of that. I told her, I said, I told you I wanted peace. Give me my peace.
Wow, I did not know that.
Oh yeah,
that is a Texas thing. You were in Texas now, right? Okay, because it took me 3 years to get my divorce from my first husband, and I was in Ohio though. And in Ohio, both people got to agree, and it could drag on because if both people don't agree to the divorce, you just got to keep coming to the table and keep. And finally, I was like, you know what? Let me go. I want to be free.
Exactly, but see, they don't want you to be free because see, that means they don't have that power over you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they want you to live in their misery.
Right. Tell us a little bit about your organization.
The Women of Divine Distinction Ministry was built based on my abuse. And it is basically to encourage and empower women to go out there and find their voice. When God took me through the transition from being in that relationship, because see, I was a teenager when I was with him. And so my whole life, that was all I know.
Right.
So I didn't know anything about being single.
Right.
Especially single and a woman with children.
Right.
So that was like, okay.
Right.
So I had to learn a whole lot of things.
Yes.
And also at the same time, I had to learn who Clara was because see, I didn't know me.
That's the big one.
That's the big one because now I became who He wanted me to be.
Yes.
Not who God created me to be.
Right.
So it was a lot of different steps I had to take and different things I had to do, but I followed the steps that God gave me. And I laid them out in my new book that's about to be released. And the most important thing that I tell the women is to, number one, take your power back.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, fall in love with you.
Yes.
Number three, build a relationship with God. Not necessarily in that order, but you need those three things. And also, you have to forgive yourself. And someone asked me, well, why you have to forgive yourself? You have to forgive yourself for allowing Him to continue to do that to you.
Right. And for making a choice of choosing Him.
Right.
Sometimes you feel like, why did I pick Him? Why didn't I see?
Right.
Why didn't I know He was like that? Right. So that's another. I really love, you answered everything I was going to ask you because I was going to say, what do you tell people when they're in this situation? Mm-hmm. And you summed it up. And I think the thing that I love the most about what you said is you have to fall in love with you because if you don't know who you are, you are prey for anybody to come along and tell you who they want you to be. And so that's hard to get away from. I really love the fact that you share your story because this is what happens. People see you now in all your glory. We have no idea. So I think it's so important to talk about this because people that's in this situation may feel like they can't come to somebody like you. She'll never understand. You know, she's a doctor. She does all these writing books and women's groups and public speaking. She's not going to understand how I feel. Right. But I love the fact that you talked about how hard it was to make a decision to be a single parent. Yes. Because that's what kept me in mind. I never wanted to be a single parent. I just saw too many single parents when I was growing up, and I was like, that's not going to be me. So I stayed in my marriage feeling like I needed to have a husband. Right. But once I got delivered, it was the best thing since sliced bread. Now I can't seem to want to get in another marriage for whatever reason. Single life is all right. But tell us about the book that's coming out because I'm super excited about that.
Okay, the book is titled "Removing the Mask as I Become the Authentic Me," and what is in that title basically is saying, and I've been talking about removing the mask for years. And the thing is that after my divorce, of course, that was a lot that I had to endure, not just the abuse, but I felt shamed, so to speak, and I had to find happiness. Try to, when you figure out who you are for the first time in your life, and you like 40-something years old, it's like, wow, I missed a whole lifetime. Yes. I mean, seriously, a whole lifetime. But my biggest thing is that I was thankful that I got out alive. Right. And I know you've seen certain pictures of me over, via social media, but I was hiding behind wigs. So removing the mask is about me removing the wigs, because it's nothing for me to wake up and put on one wig. And if I got somewhere else to go later on, I'll change into a different wig. And it's based on my mood. And it gave me like I was a new person.
Right.
And at a certain point, God was like, I need you to remove those masks.
It's like a new identity each time you put a wig on.
Each time, because I didn't realize it was like that. And then I'm gonna even share this. There was one time because I was in praise dance group right after me and my ex-husband split. I was in a praise dance group at church, and I went to church with one wig on. And then when we got ready to praise dance, I put on a different wig.
Okay.
Then after we praise dance, I put on a different wig.
All right.
The pastor was like, I didn't know anybody with wigs like that. But I had over a month's worth of wigs, but he took me through the process, and I had to remove those wigs in order for me to find me.
Yes.
And when he removed the wigs, couldn't do perms, of course, no wigs, no weave. So I had to wear my natural, and I'm looking at God like, are you serious? This is not me. And he said, I need you to be the Clara that I created you to be. So he said, I have to take you backwards so that I can bring you forward, so you can know who you are. See, I didn't get a chance to live and do what I want to be, because I wanted to join the Marines or become a cop. So I couldn't do neither one of those.
Wow.
By the time I had left that marriage, I was too old.
Wow. But what you're describing is the definition of a rebirth.
Yes.
So it's everything that we're taught being born again is actually going to the very beginning and starting over. So that's amazing. And I think that's really good. Now, I know that a lot of people wear wigs. So I know that you're not saying that everybody wearing wig is hiding, but I get what you're saying because it manifests itself in different ways.
Right.
Some people hide behind makeup. Some people hide behind a persona. You ever met somebody and their persona so big, but then when you really know them, you're like, okay, who was the person I met like 3 months ago? Who was that?
Right.
And so people do hide for so many things. And I think for me, mine was church because I was raised in church. I was kind of hiding behind the hikamoshas. Okay, y'all don't get that. they don't know. And he come in the Honda. I was hiding behind. Okay. But I broke free, and I was like, you know what? I have a relationship with God. I've had a relationship with God since I was an infant, and that's another story for another day. But I didn't have to hide behind the veil of religion, the title of minister, the title of all that. I didn't have to hide behind that anymore because I realized I was born into this. This is who I am. So I see what you mean. And I think it's amazing that you were able to come out of that and still encourage other people with no bitterness. Right. This is what I see with a lot of advocates and a lot of organizations. The leader is often very bitter. Right. And so they talk to survivors based on what they feel.
Exactly. I'm gonna piggyback on something you said a moment ago, because you said early on that people will look at me and it's like, well, she wouldn't know what I'm talking about or whatever. When God took me back to where He had me stripped me of the wigs, removing the mask and everything, as I started wearing my natural hair, I had a dream that took me back to when I was a kid and I had saw Junkyard Dog in person. So I've always just loved the mohawk. So yes, so my dude cut my hair into a mohawk. Wow. Yes, and of course I had the hair in the middle, it had it red. And so I'm at a gas station. Someone I knew was, happened to pull up also. And there was some young ladies there talking whatever. And the person that knew me was like, hey, Pastor, how you doing? And the other ladies would look at me like, and I was like, yeah. They was like, and so that goes back to your point, because they would never know. Right. And because of that style that I had, it brought them ladies to a conversation. So when we got outside the store, we had a conversation. Right. Because
you were relatable.
I was relatable. Yes. But I've had several ministers preachers that I deal with have came up to me and told me, thank you for showing us that we didn't have to wear those wigs. We didn't have to perm our hair. And I was, and my thing is to them, God didn't tell us to put on those wigs. God didn't tell us to perm our hair. He took me back to me, my natural. Did I like it in the beginning? No. Did my dude like it? My son didn't like it. My best friend, which is a guy at the time, was a guy. He didn't like it. So the 3 men in my life didn't like that. It was like, that's not you. Right. But I'm like, but this is the me that God created me to be. So I have to walk into that. Right. And that's what people have to get to. you have to be who God called you to be, because as soon as you continue to hide behind the wigs, the weave, even a ministry,
Right.
you know, you giving yourself over to someone else and not to you, and not to God.
Yes. And it's all a facade.
It is.
Absolutely. So tell people where they can find you and how they can support you and your organization.
You can find me on Facebook, Dr. Clara L. Peters, on Instagram at I am Clara L. Peters, Twitter also, Clara L. Peters, and then my email is wodd.2011@yahoo.com.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us. We are going to go into a quick break, and we'll be right back with Meka Diamond.
Don't let social distancing have you out here looking dusty. Get your sexy back at Exclusive Cuts Barbershop with Steph B. the Barber, offering haircuts for men, women, and children, as well as spa treatments and hair and beard enhancement. There's no better way to boost your confidence, improve your appearance, and accentuate your best features. Put your best foot forward and make a lasting impression with a fresh haircut and regular beard maintenance. Get faded today with Steph B. the Barber. Follow us on Instagram at Steph B. the Barber to book your appointment. That's STEFBDA Barber. And tell them, hey, it's your girl Lisa Denae, and I want to tell you about my book of the month, Dating in the Age of Narcissism, A Woman's Survival Guide by Kimberly Michelle. If you're like me, you've experienced the ups and downs of the dating scene, and you may have gotten a bit discouraged. Don't give up. Kimberly Michelle is your new go-to girlfriend for dating advice. Purchase your copy today and get the relationship you want and desire. Available now on Amazon, or visit her Facebook page, Dating in the Age of Narcissism, and be sure to leave a review and tell her Stunner Radio sent you.
All right. We are back, and we have already had a full show. But guess what? I got some more for you. We have another special guest. Meka Diamond is here. Meka, welcome so much, and thank you so much, and welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Hello. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's a blessing to be here on a Saturday. Super excited to be here. It's been an amazing week, so thank you for having me all week long. But I am Meka Diamond. I am the owner of Visible Evidence Consulting Firm, where we help clients reach new levels of success through digital marketing, strategic planning, community service, also media, and I do a little bit of PR as well, so make sure that I say that. I'm also the host of the Morning Tea Radio Show and the talk show host of Meet Houston. That is a talk show bringing exposure to the city. Everything that happens within the city, people need to know more about what's happening in
Absolutely, yes.
And so that's who I am.
All right, you have an organization, Visible Evidence.
Yes.
And I did not know you do that much.
I do.
So what led you into that?
Well, I originated as a hairstylist. And so I retired from doing hairstyling, but I built relationships during that time. Anybody who sit in your chair, they can be a doctor, a lawyer, an attorney, whatever it is that they have in their profession, they sit in your chair. And so I built relationships, and people started asking me every time they needed a photographer, or they needed an event planner, or they needed someone. I started referring them people. So I was the connector. And then after a while, I realized, I said, you know what? There's a lot of people making a lot of money off of my referrals. So I need to do a profit sharing program. And so that's what started my marketing. I started doing referring people and making money off of that. And then I went to school, and I learned more about marketing and did more education in the media background, and was actually offered the opportunity to start this program, start this organization, this business. And then my community service just took off from something that was a life transition that happened in 2007.
Well, that's really smart of you to see something that's already in existence and transition that into something that's profitable.
Yes.
I try to tell people that all the time. If you're already doing something, make money off that. Don't just go into a business that you have no knowledge of and you're not already doing. Do what you're already doing, and that makes it much easier. You're already doing it. So I want to talk about your community service and the pivotal event that led you into doing it.
Absolutely. So in 2007, my brother was killed due to gang violence in the community of A-Leaf, and I graduated from Elsick High School. So make sure to say hello to the A-Leaf family. And so when he got killed, it was a lifestyle that my family didn't know that he had. You you see all of the kids that your family, your sisters, your siblings, they grow up with, and then all of a sudden those same people that you grew up with, they are no longer those people. You only have a selected few.
Yeah.
And so although I knew that life had changed for him, I didn't know that it changed to that magnitude.
Right.
And so we got a phone call that he had been shot at a community event that was in Alief, at Alief Amity Park. And because of my family not knowing, because of wanting to honor the promise that I had given to him, and my promise to him was that I'm going to make sure that everybody remember you in a positive light. Mm-hmm. And so my foot got on the ground very, very quickly. And I didn't want any family members to experience the same things that my family had experienced. Mm-hmm. And so I poured into the community of Alief by getting into the school district, by making sure that kids had an outlet, the young adults had an outlet to know that they didn't have to be a part of an organization, or as they would call it, a family, in order to feel like they were loved, and they had those that would support them. And from that, it just jumped into so many areas, not only Alief community, but I'm also in Spring Branch. I'm also in Missouri City, Fort Bend, Alvin, just doing different things to make sure that I catch the children, the generations while they are younger, and hoping that they don't make the mistake that my brother did.
That's very important. And, everybody has experienced death in 2020. If you haven't, in some way, shape, or form, thank God, because most of us have been touched by it in some way. So I think it's awesome that you used that and turned it into something positive, because some people exist in grief for years and years and years, and don't find a way to channel it. Yeah. So it's really great that you did. So the event that you have coming up, tell us about that.
So I was awarded in 2017. I had I've completed over 7,000 hours in community service, and so a lot of those who saw the work that I did within the city, I had a phone call, and one lady who was my friend, my sister, she called and she said, I want to know how much community service that you've done, and I need a track of it. And I was like, okay, well, how do I go back and track everything that I've done in all of these years? And so I went to Facebook and I saw all the flyers and went through emails. And so she ended up sending it to the mayor, and I was awarded a proclamation day. And because of me getting this award in the city of Houston, and I'll say the mayor, Sylvester Turner, and by me getting this award in the city, I said, you know what, I am going to make sure that I continue to do the same things that I do. And I'm going to put my brother's birthday as my proclamation date in order to make sure that it was for him. It's in remembrance of him. And all of those who are contributing towards any event that I'm doing, my footprint will know that it's in his spirit. And there are so many people who have never met him, but they know him by name, they know him by face, because of all of the things that I've done. So being awarded the Proclamation Day on November the 15th, I said, this is a celebration, but it's not a celebration unless I continue to do the things that got me to this point. Right. And so I decided to do a Thanksgiving feast, a turkey drive that started. And once I started the turkey drive, we handed out about 60 turkeys. The first year, we were super proud of our 60 turkeys that we gave out. And then we went to another church the next year, and I said, you know what? I'm always trying to go bigger and better every time. How can I make this better than it was the year before? And so I decided that we're not just going to do turkeys, because they need other things. They need all of the trimmings as well. And so we did boxes, and we found organizations, some schools, some hospitals. We spoke to some social workers and got some families that were either going through breast cancer treatments, if they were in the hospital, and they needed an additional push during the holidays just to bring some light to them. Yeah. And so the next year we got about 75, 80. Last year was our third year, and we got over 350 individuals that received boxes. That's awesome. That was done according to how many that they had in their family. So this year we're shooting for, right now we're at 450. Wow. We're at 450 people. So
yeah, I could imagine that this year would have more people being in need.
Yes.
Because this year has just really put people out of work, have people sick, family members sick. So I think, it's really great what you're doing. And I really love the fact that it's around the holidays.
Yes.
Because, people get so stressed out during the holidays. And I never understood that. I wasn't raised like that.
Yeah.
So I never understood why you get stressed out over one day. But, I think it's great that you are assisting people, because everybody got to eat.
Yeah.
everybody gotta eat. But you know, I just want to say for people that feel stressed out for Thanksgiving or stressed out for holidays, if you eat pizza on Thanksgiving, you're gonna be all right. Trust me, you're gonna live another day.
Yeah.
You're gonna be all right. But I do think it's really great for organizations like Meka's that help people, especially with children, so they don't have to stress. I remember mentioning before that I had some hard times raising my kids because my second son had cancer, and that threw off like 4 years of our whole life, just with the treatments and the rehab, because he was paralyzed from the neck down for a while. And these holidays was coming around. I was like,
yeah.
Well, we might have some sides, but we might not have no meat.
Yeah.
And I was, but thank God for the yams and the greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes.
Right.
And all that.
You know it.
Yes. You name it. Yes. But, you know, I just think it's really great because I love the fact that we, as in African Americans, Black people, are getting more into this, because sometimes you feel a certain type of way when another type of person give it to you, and especially if it's not a person of color, and they kind of throw it at you, and you feel like, you know what, you might can keep that. Yeah, I might be all right without that. So I really love that our people are getting into it, because it just, you know, to have someone with compassion, to understand what you're going through, it takes away that feeling of shame or that feeling of discouragement, or people that feel like a failure. And you're not a failure. We all go through hard times. If you haven't been through one, your time is coming. So you never want to feel like a failure. I just want to, you know, give you big props for doing that, because I know a lot of people with days. You know, they got their day from the city of Houston, and they usually do a party. Or, you know, a look at me day. And so I think it's really good that you're using yours to do something good. That is the whole point.
Absolutely. You receive these awards. You receive them for your service. Some people, Some people receive it for service. Some people receive it for, you know, whatever. And I won't even get into that. But I will say I was awarded because of my feet being on the ground, because of me digging in the trenches, because of me really being genuine and wanting not only young adults, but even adults to change and know that there are caring people. There are genuine caring people that really, truly want to see you win. And so just by being able to do that, it brings joy to my heart. It's a hard day. I will not say it's not a hard day, because that day is his birthday and it's a hard day, but it makes me feel good that that's his birthday present every year, that he's growing with people who know who he is.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really love that. Could you tell everyone where they can find you on social media and how they can support you?
Absolutely. So I'm Meka Diamond on any of your social media platforms. I'm also Visible Evidence as well. And then you can reach out to myself if you would like to volunteer. We are accepting donations, the trimmings of all the things, macaroni, mashed potatoes, yams, all of that. And then you can also do a monetary donation or sponsorship where we are purchasing items for the event. But it's going to take place November the 15th on Sunday from 9 until 2 in the afternoon at Good Hope Missionary Baptist Church. And we are accepting volunteers, but of course, because of COVID-19, we have to make a list, because we don't want, you know, so many people to be out there as well. But we have a strategic method, a strategic plan. It's a drive-through event that's going to be really organized, and it's going to be really successful for the families.
Awesome. Thank you so much again for being here. And Meka is going to be with us in the next hour for the next show. So like I said, don't go nowhere. And we're going to go to break, and we'll be right back.
Attention all divas, fashionistas, and ladies.
Attention all divas, fashionistas, and ladies of style and sophistication. Lisa Denae's Diva Den is now open for your online shopping pleasure. We offer custom designs created exclusively for the Diva Den, including our Queen collection, specifically designed with you in mind. Choose from tees, tanks, hoodies, leggings, face masks, and home decor. Tired of those cookie cutter looks and boring styling options? The Diva Den can help you get your shine on. Visit us today at www.lisadenae.com/divaden and tell them Stunner Radio sent you.
Real talk for the real world.
All right. We are back. It is the top 5 fails of the week. And you know, I always keep track of the wins and the fails for the culture. So this week, the top 5 fails, my number 5 was these Republicans in the state of Texas have launched another lawsuit to stop drive-through voting in Harris County. Now, not only are they trying to stop it, they want to take back all, and they are asking the court to reject all votes that have already been cast through drive-through voting. Now, we're going to keep our eye on this. They filed a recent suit that was rejected by the Supreme Court. So this is another suit, and they are asking that all votes that were placed through drive-through voting be rejected. Keep your eye on this. Let's hope that this doesn't happen. But I just want y'all to know, voter suppression is real.
It is.
And when people think it's not, it is. They're going through a lot to try to suppress your vote. So that lets you know how important it is to vote. That's my number 5. Number 4 for the top 5 fails of the week is the LA Dodgers has a player named Justin Turner. So he violated coronavirus protocols this week by celebrating with his teammate after being tested positive for coronavirus. Now, I don't understand why Major League Baseball allowed this, but he was on the field with his teammates. He refused to leave when security asked him to leave the field. I just feel like his teammates should be looking at him sideways after this.
Absolutely.
I know I would be. I don't feel like you love me.
Yeah.
If you tested positive and you out here, I don't like that. So that's why he's number 4 for my top 5 fails. Number 3. Now, I really wanted to make this number 1, but that's just because I don't get this person. Kanye West gave Kim Kardashian a hologram of her dead father as a birthday present. Now, everybody is thinking this is great. Oh, it's so sentimental. You know, she gets to see her father. This is where he lost me. He had the father praising him, talking about how he was such a genius.
What?
Now, why would you put words into a dead man's mouth to make you look better? Yeah. If that is not a narcissist, I don't know what is. Like, you make everything about you. So apparently, according to social media, she enjoyed the hologram.
Really?
But I feel like when people dead, they dead.
Right.
It's a circle of life.
Right.
Don't be resurrecting me with no hologram. Because I hope that my spirit will rise up and say, this is the devil.
Right.
Cut it out.
Not to mention, like, how crazy does it sound?
Yes.
Like, how did he get his voice? Whose voice is
Well,
it?
you know, he's a lawyer. He was, a famous lawyer, Robert Kardashian. And so they got money. So he had a team to go through all the tapes and all the pictures, all the video. They had his mannerisms down pat. They had his voice.
Wow.
So I can understand her feeling sentimental about it. But my problem was that he had him saying, Kanye West is a genius. Are you serious?
Yeah, like he literally didn't say that.
Right.
You said
put
that.
Words into his mouth.
So it's a gift to the wife by her father, but he's speaking about Kanye.
Speaking highly of him. Now he had him saying other stuff like I'm proud of you for being a great mother. I'm proud of you for getting ready to follow my footsteps and be a lawyer.
Okay.
But to me, you could have left all that other stuff about you out.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it just shows who he is, and that's why he's my number 3. Number 2, I really was done with him too. Lil Wayne has endorsed President Trump. Now, first of all, we ain't heard no peep out of you, Lil Wayne, when it comes to politics.
No.
So why are you showing your face, your very tattooed, gremlin-looking face?
Yeah.
Now, why? I just think this is not smart because some people are influenced by him.
Right. I think that he is going like with 50 Cent. You know how 50 Cent got upset about the taxes. Once you get over that tax bracket, how much you're going to have to pay back in taxes. So I think entertainers are making their decision based on finances.
I think that's cap though. I think that's cap because anybody who got some money, it's plenty loopholes. You do not have to pay. Trust me. There's plenty loopholes that you can get out of paying taxes. I think they are paid for their endorsement. That's what I think it is, or a promise of something. Yeah. And they selfish. They don't even think about themselves. So that's and 50 Cent retracted his because I think
he did. Okay.
His money was starting to give little funny.
There's a lot of people who were really upset about that.
And we made you.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We need you to think about your decisions a little carefully.
Yes.
So number 1 though. Had this not happened, Lil Wayne would have been my number 1. But the Louisville police officer that was part of Breonna Taylor's raid is suing Breonna Taylor's boyfriend for emotional distress. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Can you believe this? The audacity. You were doing your job. These people were in their home. How is it emotional distress? You need to talk to your department.
Or choose another job.
Or choose another job.
Exactly.
And so I think we need to watch how this plays out, because if he is awarded any money, if they even agree with him, I mean, no justice, no peace. Once again,
right.
We're gonna have to. Well, I ain't gonna say right, but we're gonna have to say something.
Yeah.
However you feel you need to say it, we're gonna have to say something regarding that. So
yes.
I just don't like that. I think that's ridiculous. But they quick to holler pain and suffering,
Absolutely.
but they can't understand our years
Right.
and decades of pain and suffering.
And that's what you get your leave for, when they release you
Yes.
for however many weeks until the case, whatever happens with them. That's your time to just get yourself together.
Exactly.
You work this your job.
Yeah.
I just think it's audacious, and I think it's really terrible. It's adding insult to injury for this young man.
Yeah.
But he's my number one, so I don't like to end the show on a bad note. So we'll be right back with the top 5 wins of the week. IAG Productions is your one-stop shop.
IAG Productions is your one-stop shop for event production, sales and marketing, makeup artist services, and entertainment booking, featuring signature events with Poet Goddess Fee and date and ladies' nights. We don't do boring, and we're not your average production house. We are women supporting women and pushing men toward greatness. Visit us on Facebook and Instagram at IAG Productions for more information or to work with us for your next event. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
With the top 5 wins of the week on Lisa Denae Live. Real talk for the real world.
It's the top 5 wins of the week, and I'm not going to even front. I'm not going to lie to y'all. It was hard this week because I just saw a lot of fails. I ain't see a lot of wins. I was just going to put myself on the list. Number 5 is me. Number 4 is me. I'm winning. But I said, no, I'm not going to do it like that. So number 5, I did feel like this is a win for, me, because Ivy Park by Adidas was dropped again, their new collection this week. Now, anybody who know me know I love Adidas. For whatever reason, probably because, I grew up in the era where it was the thing. I really love Adidas. And this time, Beyonce's Ivy Park label is featuring sizes that I can wear. She's for this time featuring plus size options. So if you about that life, go pick up your drip from Ivy Park. Number 4, the CDC has listed the cruise ban. This don't really bother me. This don't really affect me. But for all of you people who love to cruise, this is phase 1 in getting back on the ship. They have lifted the ban on cruises, but this is going to only affect staff and crew right now with testing and protocols. So that's a win for some people. It may not affect me. We shall see. Number 3, the LA Dodgers. Okay, they won the World Series. Now, I don't even much care about baseball, but this was a big win for them because this is their first win since 1988. And in addition to that, this win makes Magic Johnson a champion in 3 different leagues, okay? Because he was, of course, five-time champion with the LA Lakers, okay? And then he won a championship as an owner of the LA Sparks, and now as an owner of the LA Dodgers. He has 3 championships in 3 leagues. That's the only reason why I care.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's a win for Magic Johnson.
Absolutely.
He's my number 3. Number 2, Harris County won, y'all.
Yes.
Harris County showed out. Harris County broke all type of early voting records.
Absolutely.
And I'm so proud of the city of Houston. I'm proud of our leaders, our voting officials, our mayor, making history with several new options like the drive-through voting and 24-hour polling locations. That was really dope.
Yeah, now that was super
That
cool.
was really dope. Like nobody really heard of that.
No.
And I don't know who came up with that, but I already know how Houston people do.
Yeah.
Y'all some night owls.
Yeah.
So, and plus a lot of medical professionals get off at certain different times of the night and they don't have the opportunity. So I think it was really great. People who work 2nd shift and 3rd shift had this option with this 24-hour polling and broke records. So right now we have over 1.4 million
That is so awesome.
early voters in Harris County, not in the state.
Great. That's
big, right?
It's awesome. I you know what I was really, really moved by? The Souls to the Polls parade.
Yes.
That right
I
there
didn't see
just
that.
really blew me out the water, where they had different churches collaborated, combined their churches together, and they had a parade to Reliant. So people could vote. Yes, it was so
I didn't
awesome.
know about that.
Yeah, it was super awesome. And it was all over the city. They collaborated together, and I was just like, that just shows community unity.
That's nice.
Yeah, and it was on a Sunday after church, and they just did a parade all the way to Reliant.
Now that's real. That's really nice. But I just was so proud of our city.
Yeah.
Because, we were featured on CNN about this. It's really great that Harris County stepped up.
Yes.
And, all this historic ways of voting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really awesome. So that's why Harris County is number 2 for my top 5 fails of the week. So number 1, I usually don't really too much get into the BET Awards. But the BET Hip Hop Awards came on. And let me just tell you, it was a really great show this time because most people who watch the Hip Hop Awards watch for the ciphers. Okay, we want to see the ciphers. So this year they had some ciphers that were out of this world. But I was also really proud that they showed Trey the Truth with all his community service that he does, and that's another shout out to Houston. So that was big. And Houston's own rapper Toby Nwide. Oh my God, the one for Try Jesus.
He is.
Don't try me.
Listen,
yes.
I have to make sure that I say he is an Alefian.
Yes.
Southwest Alef, Texas.
Yes,
he does.
And he represented.
He did.
I love that
on
song.
the BET. I love that song too because I do throw hands.
Yes.
Okay, I need everybody to know.
Can throw them hands.
Yes, because I fight. So it was so great to see that, and then the all-female cipher, paying homage to Brandy's hit, I Want to Be Down.
Yes.
And then, y'all know how I love me some reggae music. And I love me some Jamaicans. So they had a whole reggae cipher featuring your boy Beanie Man. I was out of control. So BET, y'all did that. Okay, y'all did throw in some ratchetness. And I just muted during that segment and went on and took a little snack break. But when I came back, I was so pleased to see all the artists encouraging people to vote. Because, many years ago, rappers and a lot of artists will say, it don't make no difference. It don't matter. Our vote don't count. So to see them encouraging people to vote on the Hip Hop Awards was awesome. And I really enjoyed that. And they are my number 1 for the top 5 wins of the week. I just want to thank my special guest for being here today. I want to thank you all for tuning in. We had a lot of ground to cover. So if it seemed like I was talking fast, I was. So I want to get out of the way for our next show, but I do want to encourage you to head on over to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Stunner Radio. You can visit our website to watch or listen to any of the shows that you have missed. And we're going to get on out of here. Until next time, we will see you later. Are you enjoying the show? Really glad to hear it.
Are you enjoying the show? Great, glad to hear it. Show your love for your favorite Stunner Radio shows with t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, and more. Visit our store at www.stunnerradio.com to get your Stunner merch today. We are urban talk radio for the Black and brown communities and all those who value diversity. Stunner Radio is the heart and soul of. If you're looking for a keynote speaker for your next event, look no further than Miss Mimi of Mimi Speaks, specializing in panel discussions, women's luncheons and conferences, and fashion shows and trade shows. Miss Mimi brings her unique blend of experience and training to make a lasting impression on your guests and clients. With powerful, engaging, thought-provoking topics and presentations, Miss Mimi will provide your guests with meaningful takeaways and life-changing revelations. Also available for red carpet interviews and premieres. Email us today at iammissmeme@gmail.com for booking information. That's iammissmeme@gmail.com.